we've had some reality checks from our friends today. We are, there's people who've done the house, the moved house thing before, and they're like, all right, these are the things I didn't like about it. These are the things, one of Jack said his family moved a house and worked on it for 30 years.
30 years.
Meaning, it was just kind of like piece by piece by piece by piece, and they just kept working on it and kept doing little things to update it. And it was just like, ultimately, the work that was put in and time that was put in wasn't as worth it, because they just had to keep constantly updating things that were breaking. And that's kind of what Gabriel was saying. It was like, hey, there's a lot of stuff on the house that you're probably going to have to mess with. But any house has maintenance. Even Gabriel's house has had some stuff.
And he's a new build. He's only like a year out.
But Gabriel's really found a lot. He found a lot of auction finds to help save costs.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of stuff that he got where he's like, I'm here, and
this is the fishing place.
This is pretty. Ooh, that's far away.
Yeah.
Your secret fishing spot. Don't tell anybody.
I think maybe there might be a similar spot.
Okay, that's pretty. I'm pushing for going forward, but we are going.
Well, Jack didn't say don't do it. He just said you need to make a good financial decision. Not a.
Oh my goodness! Do you want more? Do you want more cracker, Asaph? Yes, you do.
Yeah,
of course you do.
You need to make a good financial system. Run the numbers. See if doing a new construction. Same material or same dimensions and all that kind of stuff.
I ran the numbers, and it's a lot more expensive. Yeah. Unless your renos cost almost $200,000.
Yeah, and you might be underestimating the reno cost. If we do it all, it's going to be just kind of it's a lot, little stuff.
Yeah.
But I think there still are materials that are cheap.
Speaking of cheap materials, we're currently on our way to get those windows that we found on Facebook Marketplace. He was asking $75 per window, and I negotiated to $66. So, yeah.
At least for the 6, but then we might buy some more. He said he might give them all to us for like $500. I don't know. He didn't say that, but he said I'll give you a good deal if you take them all.
We're going to look at the other ones, because we might do like an addition-ish or something. I don't know, on this house.
Maybe some of the windows will be the exact size.
Well, actually, the tall ones, I was like, I wish we measured the front of the house and how those, because those look like 5 foot something. They might be the dimensions that we have at the front of the house, but
you can always frame a bigger window opening theoretically, but whether it matches is always a question. If these match, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
Just wanted to get your honest thoughts about stuff. I had a longer talk with Jack afterwards when I went home.
Okay.
But I don't know if you're busy. It sounds like you might be busy right now.
Let me just go outside so I can hear you better.
Yeah. So basically, Jack was like, "Well, look, with missing like the 2 walls, like there's a chance that you basically are only getting framing from the house long term."
Right. If you end up stripping it all down, that's all you're getting.
Yeah. And so it's like, if that happens, then you want to see what your enclosed cost would be, even just doing like a new construction, maybe slab on grade for the same footprint. And if it's considerably cheaper, then maybe it's still a good idea. But then if it's not, you could be getting into trouble.
Right. Well, like my little house here.
Yeah.
It's a 100-year-old house. It turned out awesome. Great. We love it.
Yeah.
But could have put the same work into a new building, and it would have been worth $150,000 more.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the thing is, it's the same amount of labor.
Yep.
You know, except if it's new, it's worth a lot more.
Yep.
You know, so that's the thing. But you're probably gonna have to scale down the house a little bit. You know, you're gonna have to be modest on size and everything. You know, just plan on it being a starter home.
Yeah. Well, and Jack was like, if you just take that plan and look at it, modify it, make it your own. See what it would cost to do that exact plan, essentially. You know.
About it, you know, I was just mowing my grass and working in the yard here, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I said one of the major issues that happens is just buy-in.
Yeah.
Right. Just is are you and your wife on the same page?
Yeah.
Right. And you know, if you got family members that are gonna, you know, kind of bridge finance it for you.
Yeah.
You know, if everybody's bought in and they're in, that's a big deal.
Yep.
So that's not nothing either.
Yep.
So that's one thing I was thinking about, you know. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, at the end of it, and if you're going to live there for 20 years.
Yeah, and maybe we're borrowing against equity in the future, but we might also be borrowing against, like, income. Maybe it becomes an income property instead of a... You know.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, if you're both on board and you got, you know, you're in line, you know, you got family members that are willing to help you, I mean, the buy-in part is pretty important to have.
Zanny's here, she's listening.
So, right. Yeah, and I'm
trying to kind of like...
It does have a charm to it. It does have a style that is something that you can work with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just want you to be realistic, you know what I mean?
In terms of equity,
you might just be buying framing.
Yeah.
You know, if you end up redoing the roof, redoing the windows, redoing the siding, you're quite literally
buying framing.
buying the framing, yeah, and then you end up...
And the framing is potentially like wonk. Instead of like you built it and you made it square, you know.
Right, yeah. And being that it was a duplex, I mean, the quality of that construction, doesn't seem like it's super high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was probably like a spec house or something that they were trying to keep costs down. It's not like it's like a super amazing framing job either.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear to be, but just as long as you're realistic and you know what you're getting, that's all I'm more concerned about.
Yeah.
If you're, you know, I don't think you're getting like an amazing deal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's worth it.
Yeah.
I'm saying you can, you know.
It's accessible. It's accessible for the two people, and what
right.
budget we might have versus like the huge upfront cost of building.
Right. Yeah, I think our whole property when it was appraised for like $145,000.
Yeah.
Which there's no way you could build our house for $145,000.
Yeah.
So, but appraisal and what you could sell it for are two different things.
Yeah.
You know, because the big appraisals are kind of a bullshit racket, I think, in one way.
Yeah.
Meaning...
They're based on what other people have.
Well, think about when the appraiser goes to appraise. And Kyle will tell you that, no, that's not true. That's not true. You know, we have a fair valuation of what we think it's worth. Okay, that's what Kyle will tell you. But listen, when you go do a job, what do? You do a job that you feel confident in, that you did the job, but you don't do anything more than you have to do, right?
Yeah.
Right? So that appraiser's doing the same thing. We had $100,000 we needed to refinance on this house. So the appraiser goes, all he does is find 3 comparable sales and then kicks out a number, and as long as it's above what the number is that we're borrowing against it, he's done. He's not putting any extra work into it to actually find a value.
Yeah.
Right?
Whereas if you actually sold it, it would be like, whoa. Oh.
Right. But if I actually went to sell it, that number is something completely different.
Yeah.
Right.
But the appraisal does matter if you're trying to borrow against it.
Right. It has to appraise for what you're putting into it, for what you're borrowing.
Yeah. I see.
But it doesn't mean that it's going to appraise for more. You know what I mean? Because as soon as it's an appraisal that'll get the loan to close, that appraiser quits working.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't keep working on it once. Say, oh no, this house has to be worth more than that. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Say, nope, we got a number that the bank will be happy with. Let's send it out.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I mean.
We're soon. We're turning.
It'll be worth what you end up borrowing on it probably, but your appraisal might not. And honestly, if you're living there for 10 years, you don't want it to appraise high because the appraisal is what.
Then the taxes.
Right. So I don't mind my little appraisal, but you know.
Close, right?
I just want you to understand how it works a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Might be
the
one of those things
window
where
guy's coming.
we could Airbnb it.
We'll see you later, big man.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Wendell.
That's helpful.
Yep. Bye.
Alright, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Woohoo. I like the trees. Asa, are you eating your? Is it good?
And then most of them got blinds except for.
Hey, baby.
Oh, they look really good.
Yeah, they are really good. My friend and me, he had some money that he owed me, and he had some hail damage to his house.
It's not veneer, so that's nice.
Yep. And so we did a deal. He fought his insurance company because he had hail damage on one side, not these windows, but one side he couldn't match them, and then they weren't gonna honor him. So it was 2 years of fighting in court and whatever. He wound up winning, but then he got all these windows and stuff. So
That's good.
that's yeah. So that's kind of the deal here. So
Sounds like
if there's 6, you'd be getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus them over there.
8.
Yeah, 8 windows. You'd get 8 windows for free. Well, 8 windows you get for 300. I think.
What do you think, Asaph?
yeah, I think we could probably
How
put
old
him in
is
the
he?
fish house.
Huh?
2.
He's a year and 1 month.
Oh boy.
I know, he's just.
Walking.
Yep. And he's got like. Yeah, he like shot up a lot this last month. And he's
holy
just.
moly.
And he's also you have to watch him because he just like wanders now.
I
Just-
suppose, yeah, they go fast.
Yep.
What was
Their
your
gas
size?
and stuff. None of them are
Those would look
No.
great. Those would be great in a basement.
Yep, they should all have the paint.
It's kind of sad to put them in the basement. They're so nice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So there's your 27.5. This one is,
That's the one. That one's a little shorter.
what was it, 27.5?
Sounds like they're all about the same, right?
Yep, yep. Yep, I thought this one here looked a little bit shorter.
Hey you. Hey you. Hey you.
So we just set it up on the corner and I'll go up in there.
Yeah.
Yep. How about you?